Fox Sports Radio NBA analyst. Hence the theme music. Every day he's hustling. Our man Antonio Daniels. What's up?
What up? What's happening?
Chris, Broussard, and Rob Parker. What up, fellas?
We good, man. We are good. Now, were you at that game last night against Golden State, the Pelicans Warriors?
No, I wasn't. It was a TNT game. Our next two games are TNT. So yesterday and tomorrow versus Denver. So I flew home yesterday.
I'm sure. I imagine you watched it. Were you able to watch it? Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Antonio, I thought in the second half, Golden State looked like vintage Golden State. And if they can play like that,
oh my gosh, here we go.
Oh, you didn't think
that
ball movement, that player movement?
I'm gonna tell you, no. I'm gonna tell you what's so crazy to me about being on this side of the basketball, the media side, is every time, like you guys have such a narrative. Every time Golden State wins a game, the narrative is, can they win it all? Every time they win. No matter
well, that's because they're at that
Golden
level.
State,
that is championship or bust.
Of course. I know, but there are other teams that are at championship or bust, too. There are other teams, but every time they win, you don't ask the question whether or not they can win it all. It's amazing to me, and I get Golden State's Golden State, and we can sit here and say that they've earned the right for certain things, but watching, like, just different talk radio shows and, watching TV shows on, it's amazing how every time Golden State wins a game, the next question is, can Golden State win it all?
No,
That's always the narrative that is surrounding the Golden State Warriors this year, no matter how poorly they have played throughout the course of the
season. So you're writing them all.
You're spot on, and I'll give you the other one. The don't count out LeBron no matter how bad the Lakers are. Like no matter
you
what.
count out LeBron and the Warriors, both of them?
No, I'm just saying, but Antonio's right about that narrative. No matter LeBron's won 4 championships in 20 years, and they're like, "Oh, don't count out LeBron."
19.
All right, 19 seasons. Like he's going to win, like he wins every year. Like that's. I agree with you.
Let me ask you a question, Chris. Has Golden State resembled anything of a championship caliber team this season?
Not on the road, but at home, absolutely.
No.
No,
There's a lot of
you
teams
said
that,
any resemblance.
That's not. But no. Hold on, Chris. Listen to what you're saying, right? There are a lot of teams that are championship teams at home. At home, we're not talking. You don't win championships by just being good at home. We all know that.
But I know it's a small sample size. 2-0 on the road. All right, the last 2 games. I'm not going to get too excited about that. But what I'm saying is they've done a lot of this year, and hopefully if they need him to come back, Andrew Wiggins.
Well, wait a minute.
A lot of this has been without Andrew Wiggins. A lot of it was without Steph, too, to keep it real. And you going to tell me you didn't see a different looking team last night than we've seen for most of this season, particularly on the road.
I'm gonna tell you what we do. So on our broadcast, what we do is when our game is over, we preview the next game, right? Joe Myers and we preview the next game. And the thing that I said in our preview of the next game is this is one of, if not the toughest venue to win in because of their spurtability. Being up 10, 15 points in Golden State is nothing. Again, because of their spurtability. But we've also seen the other side to this team at home. Did you watch the same Golden State Warriors team against Minnesota? After they lost to Minnesota, the next day were you saying, man, this Golden State Warriors team can win it all after they turned it over twice in the last 2 possessions and then score 100 points? This is what I'm saying about the narrative. We wait for them to play to that point, to play to that standard, and then once that standard hits, then we start the narrative back up again. So tell me.
But don't you think they've earned that? That's the thing. They're the defending champion. They haven't earned it.
No, because I don't think they're
the defending champions. They lost.
But Chris,
they went 10-11 down the stretch last year.
Chris, okay, if you can sit here right now and tell me this team this year resembles the team of last year, I'll listen. They don't. They don't.
I think they do. I think they can.
Man,
especially who? So,
I'm not saying.
You've written off the Lakers and LeBron and the Warriors and Steph. So who the kings of the West?
No. Okay, you're hearing what I'm not saying. I didn't say I've written anybody off. I just said the narrative is kind of obvious.
Well,
The
what should
narrative
the
is
narrative be, though, with Golden State? Golden State's not playing just to make the playoffs.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Chris. Just yes or no. When Golden State lost to Minnesota, right, did you come on the next day and ask the question on whatever show you was on, can this Golden State Warriors team win it all?
No, because we didn't talk about
Exactly.
them. I mean, but no.
Of
But
course.
I had seen
That's
them
exactly
win.
my point.
No, but I had already been talking about them still having a shot. Win or lose to Minnesota, it's 82 games. I understand you're going to have some good nights and some bad nights. They had won 3 straight. They had won their last 2 on the road. So I was still thinking, okay, they're starting to put it together.
All right, let's switch
go
here.
ahead.
Let's switch here. I would like.
But
to.
I'm just saying, you're not writing them off. I don't
Antonio,
think.
No,
Antonio,
Okay.
I'm in your
Okay.
camp.
Yes.
I'm in your camp. I know.
Well, I don't think you are, Rob, because
No,
I think
am.
you're writing
I'm
them
not-
off.
No,
He's not
I'm-
writing
I'm-
them off.
No. I just think that I agree that it's after a win or something. Then like everything that's happened all year doesn't matter, and then you just say, oh yeah, you know,
That's
like that's the point is that nothing that they did
I'm not
bad.
writing
They
them off.
got
didn't matter.
pedigree. It wasn't in a vacuum.
All right,
No,
let's
I'm
go
not
here.
writing them off. And the reason I'm not writing them off is because of the Western Conference.
Okay.
Right?
there you-
The
that's
instability of the Western Conference.
All right,
That's
let's
why.
ask this.
So go
Let
ahead.
me ask you about the Dallas Mavericks and what do they do? I mean, they're winning tonight
Man, listen.
over the Sixers, but going forward, if you're Mark Cuban, if you're management, you know, and Kyrie there, and you gave up players and picks for him and all that, will this work long term or no? Oh no, this is not going to work.
I don't know. And that's the part that's weird. I respect what Mark Cuban did because what he's doing, he's swinging for the fences because they allowed Jalen Brunson to go. Right? I completely grasp the concept.
Right.
So what they're doing, they're trying to make up for the mistake that they allowed to happen by bringing in Kyrie Irving. And if this taught you anything, it's you can't just go out and buy chemistry. That's why when you have it, you have to invest in it. Right? So if you have a guy like Jalen Brunson and Dorian Finney-Smith, those kind of guys, Spencer Dinwiddie, those guys last year that made it to the Western Conference Finals, you have to be able to invest and build on the chemistry that you have. So what they did, they allowed Jalen Brunson to go, and because of that, there was a trickle-down effect. So now when Jalen Brunson's going, now you lose Dorian Finney-Smith, now you lose Spencer Dinwiddie, right? And you bring in Kyrie Irving, and we all know how amazing Kyrie Irving is. But 2 amazing basketball players is just 2 amazing basketball players if there's no chemistry.
Yeah, I'm with you. And Antonio, and you played for the Spurs where it was definitely team basketball. Luka is phenomenal, right? I think Luka's a top 3, 4, 5 player in the league in the world. There's no question about it. But I have a problem with the way they play. Even before Kyrie was right, like, and I think that was what they had LeBron doing that when he first got in the league, and it got to a point where it was tough to fit guys around LeBron because, you know, guys that could really do stuff. If you're a spot-up shooter, you're just a defender. That's one thing, right? So do you think what can they do with Luka? I think they need to find a different style of play, but do you think Luka can do that?
So what I've always compared Luka in Dallas to is James Harden in Houston. There's really no difference, right? They're putting the ball in Luka's hands the same way they put in James Harden's hands and saying, you know what, take us where you need to go, right? Everything is on you. The usage rate is incredibly high, just like James Harden was. James Harden won the MVP there, but he didn't really advance the right way until Chris Paul came.
Right.
So it was someone else that came that could take the ball out of his hands sometimes. Is Kyrie Irving that guy? It's hard to tell because Kyrie got there in February. Right? Jalen Brunson was that guy again, and now I think they're trying to make up for the mistake of letting him walk. This working long term, I don't know, because Kyrie Irving is a free agent after this year. So you invested all of this and you got rid of these different guys to bring in Kyrie Irving, also knowing that there was a chance that he can leave at season's end. So will Kyrie Irving allow this to happen and grow long term? It's the question.
Yeah, no.
Well,
no.
Well, I don't think at this point that, you know, we'll see if they, you know, have a big, you know, success in the playoffs. But if it goes the way it's looking now, I don't know what kind of deal they're going to offer him. That's going to be
But
interesting.
the thing is,
right
if it
there.
goes the way that it's looking now, Chris, realistically speaking, if it goes the way that it's looking now, they won't be in the playoffs. That's the problem.
Right. And then going forward, I mean, they certainly not going to offer him a deal he wants, right? He left Brooklyn because he wanted a max deal,
4-year
long-term max
right.
deal. Now,
So
we got
what's
about
the alternative
for him.
for Dallas?
Well, no, they'd have to lose him, and they got to find out what the deal is with. What'd you think when you? And we got a minute left. When you heard Luka talking about not being happy, what went through your mind?
That this is bigger than basketball, and I think it's very easy to lose sight of that because we live in a culture where it's such a racially divided culture. But I can tell you what I do know. I know that depression, I know that anxiety, I know that a lot of the things that these players are dealing with, it doesn't discriminate. It doesn't say, well, you know what, because you have money or because you have fame, you're not going to have anxiety or you're not going to be depressed. Like, these guys are still young men and young women that deal with the same things that all of us deal with. Money, fame, it doesn't change that.
Spot on.
No, in fact,
Tell people that all the time.
exacerbates it a lot of times.
Yep, for some people.
Because you got, you're under the microscope. You're living in a fishbowl.
For
All
sure.
right. We'll get to that maybe next week because that would be a good conversation. But that's our man, Antonio Daniels.
Thanks, buddy.
Great to hear you as always, brother.
For sure, fellas. God bless you guys.